Hikaru resigns, and we have a tied match with 17 minutes to go. For the first time since the beginning of this match, Magnus Carlsen is level.
It's 0-0. That was one of the most unbelievable bullet comebacks I have ever seen in the SCC. This is insane. Your speed belts. You need 6 of them right now. Magnus has white and a chance to take the lead for the first time in this match.
And Hikaru was telling himself to wake up, to see the tactics, to spot what's going on. He was up a pawn. It seemed like a risk-free position, but Magnus Carlsen is on fire right now. Look at this move, rook d1. He takes on d4. He just has more activity. So, Danya, if the minor pieces come off, watch for the second rook to reach d1, and it is just completely easy chess for Magnus Carlsen.
I always say this when there's only one open file. The side that controls it holds all of the positional keys to the kingdom. Black is firmly worse here. And Hikaru, in his rattled condition, he's got to make sure he doesn't make any one-move blunders.
Oh, no.
You can't make it easy for Magnus, and he's got another Magnus type of position.
Yeah, queen e5 and rook g4 was an option. He goes rook d6 instead.
Queen e5 now.
Black has to shuffle, right? If you push your pawn to e5, which it does, rook d5, give me some squares. And look at this. Now, all of a sudden, Hikaru's out of it.
That was an incredible sequence of moves by Hikaru. He drives the pawn e4 to lock in White's queen and hits both of these pawns at once. And suddenly Magnus is in serious. He might already be worse.
He's giving up.
He gives up the pawn.
But I think that was a really good decision by Magnus. He doesn't let Black continue becoming even more active. He gives up material. And now if you swap rooks, well, okay, that still keeps the extra e-pawn.
Slow down if you're Magnus. You got to be accurate because Hikaru's not letting this opportunity slip. Or is he? Okay, you fine with a repetition if you're Magnus. So maybe keep going rook d5.
Okay,
now goes for it.
He goes rook d6. He just wants to keep control of Black's piece. You go rook e5, rook goes to d7.
Queen maneuvering, dodging, meandering, trying to chisel its way into White's position. That queen on e3, it moves away to d4, threatening rook d8. But here comes Hikaru's pawn.
Okay, he doesn't have to take the rook. That's very important. And fe3, rook e3, rook d8. It looks scary. Or is it queen takes e3?
Queen e3. I think you got to go queen e3. Well, it would be nice, but Hikaru can squeeze this out forever.
Yes, although if the queenside pawns come off, then we know that's a theoretical draw. But the question is, does Hikaru want to squeeze forever? It's a tied match. He no longer has the lead. So what do? I think you try to squeeze just because you have the upper hand. You've got the confidence.
Whoa. Apparently rook c4 here might win a second pawn.
No way. Then rook a8.
Oh, and then rook takes b4. Magnus just blundered with c5. He rushed it.
Oh my goodness.
He rushed it.
C4. Huge moment for
Hikaru. This game.
How does he?
My lands.
How can he survive here?
I don't think he can. I think he's going to end up 2 pawns down, and that is still salvageable in some cases, but not here.
You got to try, right? You can't resign. There's so much time left in this match. You'll only be down 1 point even if you lose. But great recognition by Hikaru. First with queen a6, then there with rook c4. The pawn on c5 is an extra one, but the problem is the black king can't really get out.
What Black wants is to trade the c-pawn for the h-pawn. A 3-on-1 on one side is easily winning. Can Hikaru get that to happen? Or can Magnus keep the fortress alive?
And he went king g2.
Oh my gosh. It ain't easy.
c2, there's g4. He goes f5 to stop g4. Great move.
Fantastic move. He should have played g4 first, Robert. He should have stopped f5. He's going to lose.
Yeah, I think he is going to lose. There's rook c5 at some point, but how do you win
win, though?
Oh, king
to g5.
But how do you get in?
Well, you zigzag your way through.
No, but the eval bar 2.2 is like fortress territory. Wait, blundered.
King d3 blunders.
Yeah, blundered on the spot. But you see the evaluation bar when it's at that level. That means there probably was some kind of draw, but it's so difficult when you have no time.
And another uncharacteristic blunder. It has plagued Carlsen all match long. And with 13 minutes on the match clock, you can't really afford to lose another one if you're Carlsen. He needs another clutch match-tying performance. What a recovery by Hikaru. What a recovery.
Amazing, right? It looked like everything was going against him, and he was able to win that game. And look at this position here. 9 moves in, h3 played. It's a quiet position. Cut the board in half. Black has an extra pawn from A through D. White has an extra pawn E through H. There's a kings on the one side of the board. White has an extra pawn on that side. I think White is going to try to get an attack.
But from a match perspective, Carlsen getting what he wants. An unbalanced position. Definitely chances to win here. But with the knight coming to f5, queen g4, Robert, you called it. This is getting already practically unpleasant. Look at the clock. Magnus falling behind again. He's in trouble again.
He is, and he might need to swap knights and play bishop d7 just to cover the c6 square.
Something. Move.
Do not want to lose your blockade of the e5 pawn. That is not what Magnus wants, but he's playing so slowly, down 23 seconds remaining.
This ain't a 3-minute game anymore. They're in bullet time. Magnus playing fast, pre-moving, trying. Hikaru blockading. He's got the dark square control on the queen side. He's in control of the game. Rook e3.
And he goes queen d3. He wants to swap queens, but look at this. f4, f5, thrusting that pawn forward. That's bad news for black.
Uh-oh, f5 coming. And the endgame offers no relief at all because the c file opens and Magnus going to go after that, or Hikaru going to go after the c6 pawn.
Yeah, this is looking very ugly. You can't even go f6 because e6, the pawn is driven forward.
Suffocating. Totally suffocating.
Black can hardly move. He wants f5, even if it's good for white. Magnus just wants something. He wants some space for his pieces.
But he's got 10 seconds on the clock. That's what he really wants. More time, equal time. But with 40 seconds, bishop trying to get to e4. We have a trade.
H5, rook e6, rook g6. Something like that is what black needs.
Carlsen once again. Dude, this is already heroic defense by Magnus. He's somehow holding on.
G6.
Oh, but the queen's going to get trapped. G4 is coming. It's unstoppable.
That is crazy. Then f5. And so what awareness from Hikaru.
Queen h5. Get rid of the pawn. Or
G2
this.
traps the bishop.
Even better.
Hikaru is a beast.
Oh, but what a move by Magnus. GF.
There's nothing
that
there.
didn't work. Queen was
Paper
pinned.
tiger,
You couldn't
as
have
you
taken
like
the
to say.
rook. It's
And
over.
Hikaru knows he's winning.
Unreal.
Magnus resigns. Still 2-point lead for Hikaru. It's back to that lead. Hikaru Nakamura, just when it looked like a mortal player might tilt, he shows his superpowers.
Hikaru showing some nasty and showing us another Queen's Gambit decline. If you're Hikaru, you're more than happy with a draw. Robert, 10.5 left. Magnus, he's the one who has to avoid panicking now. Where's his momentum gone?
It's out the window because Hikaru Nakamura stole it. And we have over 150,000 people watching on Twitch and on YouTube. Welcome to the biggest party on this Sunday. Knight e4, played by Hikaru Nakamura, jumping to the center. Danya, I feel like white doesn't really have much of anything here, but this is the Magnus type of position that you can try to grind Hikaru down in.
And it's what Magnus was unable to get the last couple of games, the last couple of losses. He's gotten back to what makes him the most comfortable. Positional maneuvering games. He's got a clear advantage here. And at this point, he's got exactly zero room for error.
And he's a rook a2, rook a1. At some point, threaten a takes b5, can toss in knight c5. Any moment, you have a clamp on the queen side. But Hikaru, with 53 seconds left, he's moving so quickly and just honestly very well.
And I think Magnus just can't match him on the speed. And Hikaru consciously adjusting his speed. He's getting faster and faster. He's putting pressure on Magnus's clock. And here we go with this again. More counterplay on the king side. More of a time advantage. Knight f6, e4.
Oh, bishop f3. So you want to give your bishop for the knight. Bishop c8, hitting the h3 pawn. You got to move your king out the way.
He doesn't.
The c6 is hanging. So he's and f7. And f7. So you have to be very careful. Black. If you take on e5, d5, the c6 pawn is loose. So it's tactical solution by Magnus Carlsen.
And Magnus is more than happy to give up a pawn if it means a queen trade. If he can get rid of that kingside pressure, he will breathe a major sigh of relief. He's eliminating some pieces, but here comes Hikaru again.
Great moves from Hikaru. Knight b2. I like that move from Magnus. King safety is paramount. The e1 square now covered. Knight d2. Is there like a rook b7 at some point?
Oh, well, there's a queen takes f2 tactic. We saw that in the first game. But Magnus, again, forcing the queen trade, or at least he's trying to.
Yes, because the endgame looks terrible for black. That's not a bishop on b7. It's a big pawn.
It is, and it can't move away because then white will have full control of the 7th rank and knight d3.
Uh-oh,
Magnus making moves.
Or knight e5
Bishop
even.
c8. Yeah, it's
so
not over
close
yet.
Here. There's rook a1.
Queen c1,
Rook
queen
A8.
h6 made sense.
Okay, he wants to trade rooks. Whoa, rook b8?
Whoa.
No, the bishop on f3 is loose.
Taking knight e5 deserves attention.
It is played.
Rook a6.
Oh, and if you take on e5, d into the c6 pawn will fall. Bishop takes d5 is another threat, and c6 is hanging directly.
But Hikaru can throw in h3 at some point. If he can make this messy, he's had the edge in time scrambles all match long. This is what it all comes down to. Here we go.
Oh
Taking
my gosh.
queen c6.
He goes queen c5. Look at that. He was knight c4, knight takes c6. Keeping more pieces on the board. You could take on d5 and play queen, take on d4 so you play queen d5. He said takes right away.
But there's perpetual ideas.
There are
I don't know
indeed.
if he can win this. Look at
Yes,
that
he
knight
can.
and queen combo.
But the queen a1, there's no more check after king h2, and the h4 is loose. If you trade queens, is it losing? Hikaru thought it was. Queen h4 take a pawn, bishop e4, but then the knight might slide to g4 when you're not paying attention.
It's so easy to miss mate here. It's easy to miss a fork. It's easy to blunder a pawn. And if you do any of those things, you're not going to win.
But look at that move, bishop e2 and g3, king g2, then push your b pawn. No checks available for black.
Twisting the knife is Magnus Carlsen and moving the pawn forward, keeping time on his clock. He should be able to win this game. Queen e6 is defending both.
Queen e5 check. Oh, that's nasty.
Where's the move?
But black's
the
not
move,
threatening
though?
anything. He's going to go b7.
But queen takes e2 and
queen
queen f4 check.
Yes, that's
He's
huge.
got to see it, does Magnus. He doesn't.
It's okay. He moves his bishop, and then b7's unstoppable.
Still totally winning, but you don't want to give Hikaru any added chances.
Okay, so goes queen e4. He keeps attacking the knight. Like, just really precise play from Magnus, not pushing the pawn.
Oh,
and now b7.
Total queen e7. There's got to be a way to force promotion.
Oh,
okay,
look
this
at
is
that.
simple.
But Hikaru's going to waste some time off the match clock.
And what that does is it forces Magnus basically to win the next game.
Yes, it does.
Oh, don't take G. Oh, you can. There's no stalemate.
It was close, though. Scared both of us.
It was very close. And don't pre-move. You might stalemate by accident.
Yes.
Oh.
But no stalemates available here.
Dry.
He's trying to find the quickest checkmate. He's trying to find the quickest checkmate.
But you got time if you're Magnus. There's no need to do any crazy pre-moves.
Queen
At this
C2
point, you
is
can
made.
pre-move queen c2. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we'll have 6 minutes remaining. Magnus.
Oh my god.
He can draw the next game, right? If he draws the next game, there still will be enough time, right? 6 minutes is plenty of time